Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhivrishtya. Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste. Jnanasvarupam nijabhavayuktam Anandamanandakaram prasannam Yogindramidhyam Bhavarogavaidyam Srimadgurum Nityamaham Namami Srimadgurum Nityamaham Namami. Nityaya Satyaya Chidatmakaya Navyaya Bhavyaya Paratparaya Shuddhaya Buddhaya Niranjanaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So we are again together to read about our Swamiji and his Gurudev, Baba's interactions, Baba's instructions and advices to our Swamiji, and how Swamiji as a Shishya imbibed everything that Baba told him, everything he observed in Baba. And he says that every word that Baba spoke, it had a great meaning and it remained imprinted in his heart. So yes, in the last session, we saw that Baba was telling Swamiji that when one leaves home, one has to belong to the whole world, belonging to everybody. And there one has to get open to a much larger circle of relationships. In our families, we are only surrounded by people known to us. We have friends in our educational centers, then in the professional centers, and also in the society. That is our circle. But when one renounces, one becomes belonging to the whole world. He becomes one of this big family. And any saint also who has renounced, the whole world becomes his family. Then Baba said that one has to feel that everybody is one's Manasa Putra and Manasa Putri. That in families, how we feel connected to our children, our relatives, parents, that kind of a feeling should be there to whoever is there in this world. And Baba said that to live in midst of such extra familial fondness and relationship, one has to be ready for any stake. Be prepared for a sword as well as a garland. That is, when we interact, although we belong to the whole world, always the interactions will not be what we like. We have to be prepared for accepting anything and getting insulted or rejected or ignored by some others. And we must be ready for praise as well as insult. So he said that one must be prepared for a sword as well as a garland. For a saint, can it always be golden prospects of garlands alone? Baba said. All kinds of people will be there around, good, bad, friendly, unfriendly, and indifferent. A saint will have to take to all of them equally. Yogic wisdom and refinement alone empower him to do so. Do not worry. You will get the necessary strength and vision whenever needed. The Diksha is a Kamadhenu, wish-fulfilling cow. These are very important words. Baba said, be prepared for a sword as well as a garland. Swamiji has told us this sentence of Baba many times. Additionally, Swamiji has written in his book what Baba said, that all kinds of people will be there around. And it is not only for a saint or a sannyasin. For everybody, we are surrounded by various kinds of people, even in the family. So all kinds of people will be there around, good, bad, friendly, unfriendly, and indifferent. A saint will have to take to all of them equally. You become a saint when you have equal vision towards them, or you accept them equally. You do not make any differentiation. What is the difference between a householder and a sannyasin? A householder will be mostly, they will be looking after their own family. They will be interested in the people whom they know. But when one becomes a sannyasi, one considers the whole world as their own. So they become interested in everybody's welfare. Whereas any person will be only interested in the welfare of their children and family people and known people. Here the sannyasin is interested in the welfare of the whole world. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that such a person he is sarva bhuta hite rataha. He becomes one who does good acts or who helps or benefits everybody for sarva bhuta hita. And in Vivekachudamani also it says that a saintly person moves about like a spring breeze. He brings about happiness to everybody. He tries to remove the sorrow of everybody, and that he does without any motive. So Baba has said that one has to be taking to everybody, whatever be their nature, and a saintly person will be able to do that. And how is he able to do that? By his yogic wisdom and refinement. Yogic wisdom and refinement alone empower him to do so. Because when a spiritual person becomes realized or is in the path of realization, then his yogic wisdom, the samatva, seeing the self everywhere, and the refinement, the purity of the mind, which does not make any bheda darshana, he is able to embrace everybody equally. Do not worry. Then Baba consoled Swamiji and gave him a blessing. Do not worry. You will get the necessary strength and vision whenever needed. Baba told Swamiji that he will get the strength and vision whenever necessary. How will you get? He says, the Diksha is a Kamadhenu. What does it mean? So, to be having equal vision, to be able to embrace everybody equally, to be loving everybody, to feel that everybody belongs to me and I also belong to everybody, to feel the presence of God herself everywhere. How will it be possible unless one has not become one with the knowledge? And how will one become one with the knowledge? Only when one does the sadhana, having taken diksha from a guru, a realized guru. Baba is saying the diksha is a kamadhenu. Simply, wholesomely pursue your diksha. Diksha mantra, what the guru has given. The guru has lit the light of knowledge or a lamp of knowledge with a flame inside the heart of a shishya, a disciple. And a sincere seeker with his sadhana, with his wholesomeness, keeps that flame ablaze, does not allow that flame to quiver, does not allow the flame to get extinguished. It burns steadily. That is the dedication and commitment of the seeker. With his sadhana, he keeps the flame ablaze brightly and goes ahead. So Diksha is a Kamadhenu. If one takes to the Diksha in this manner, in a sincere manner, whatever is necessary for spiritual progress will definitely come to the seeker. Like when we go and wish something to the Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow, you get whatever is the wish. Similarly, the Diksha is like that. But we must be sincerely wishing it. A saint's mind is an open book. All this Baba is saying. But in dealing with devotees and seekers, the saint has to be discreet. Wisely discourage anyone speaking ill of another. Whenever necessary, call the two parties together to discuss their problems. Let this be a golden rule. These are the things which Baba had said. A saint's mind is an open book. Saint's mind is absolutely open. He doesn't keep anything in the mind and speaks differently. You will understand. There will be no wall between the minds. You will feel that, oh, he is just like the sky. I can approach, I can tell anything. And he will tell me whatever is necessary for me. But in dealing with devotees and seekers, Baba is saying the saint's mind must be an open book. So, as we grow in our spirituality, we want realization, our openness, straightforwardness, humility, everything should grow. But Baba is giving an advice. In dealing with devotees and seekers, the saint has to be discreet. But when he is dealing with the minds of devotees and seekers, Baba says one has to be discreet. Wisely, be wise. Discourage anyone speaking ill of another. Discourage anybody speaking ill of another. That is, we should not allow any kind of backbiting, fault-finding, blaming, criticism from anybody, especially the devotees and the seekers who come to you. If there is a situation where you have to solve the situation, whenever necessary, call the two parties together to discuss their problems. If the saint has to interfere and solve a problem between two sets of seekers, then he should call both the parties, listen to both of them, and then solve the problem. That is, the mind should be very sharp. Mind should be very impersonal. It should never be biased by anything. Listen to everybody and come to your own decision and then give an advice or instruction. Let this be a golden rule. My dear children, all these can be applied in the household also. All will not become saintly people. People may be pursuing spirituality, but all will not be wholesomely pursuing it, may not become realized, and may not come and be in an ashram, have devotees and seekers or followers. But there are people in the house, there are people in the profession, there are people in the society where some problems or other crop up. And if ever we have to solve anybody's problem, we should be impersonal. That is, any seeker, if you are seeking and you are in the spiritual line, what has to be imbibed is impersonality, non-biasness, and have a neutral attitude. Here, the problems of all the parties concerned, and then come to any conclusion if it has to be done. Baba says, let this be a golden rule. So this also is for everybody. According to tradition, an ascetic is supposed to wear both the skin of tiger and the deer. He can, of course, remain withdrawn in his hermitage. The call of renunciation was becoming more and more active in my mind and heart. The Upanishads kept echoing in full vigor. So, according to tradition, an ascetic is supposed to wear both the skin of tiger and the deer. In olden days, the ascetics used to wear the skin of animals and also skin of the bark of trees. They used to wear the skin of tiger also, deer also. Meaning what? They should be equal to people who are having fierce nature, rough nature. Similarly, they should embrace those who have soft nature. That is a saintly person. In what context all these are being said? That Baba said, be prepared for a sword as well as a garland. Who will show you the sword? Rough people, those who are critical, those who are blameful. They may not like to honor you. They may like to insult you. So they will be either by behavior, talk, comment, they will try to dishonor. And some people, they are full of praise, full of devotion, full of reverence, and they will be giving you garlands. In that context, all these are being said, where Baba said that there will be all kinds of people. And a saintly person who is seeking as well as going ahead in the path of realization will have to accept them equally. And how will he do so? By his yogic wisdom and also refinement. And he tells Swamiji that take to your Diksha mantra wholesomely. In any such situation where you find that you are confronted by people who are of rough nature, or you are maybe being garlanded by some people who are loving you, in all situations, take to your Diksha mantra. You will get the strength to stand bravely and naturally in the midst of that situation. So Baba is saying that it is just like the ascetics in the olden days used to wear a tiger skin or a deer skin. Meaning what? Meaning what? You have to embrace the person who is tiger-like, fierce, cruel. Also you have to embrace the one who is deer-like, who is soft and very nice to you. Swamiji is now writing, the call of renunciation was becoming more and more active in my mind and heart. But with Swamiji's occasional association, going to Baba in Dakshin Khanda, being in Poornashram for 1 or 2 days, and having interactions with Baba, that was going on. And as days passed by, and by that time Swamiji also started reading the Shastras apart from meditating. Meditating, embracing the Diksha Mantra, the call of renunciation was becoming more and more in his mind. He was wanting to leave everything and give himself completely to this spiritual calling. The Upanishads kept echoing in full vigor. Kenopanishad brought its clarity with unquestionable candidness and force. Swamiji must have hit upon Kenopanishad at that time. He has written that he read the Aparoksha Anubhuti, he read the Mundakopanishad, Katopanishad, and he then got Kenopanishad, which is referring to Kenopanishad, and he says, Kenopanishad brought its clarity with unquestionable candidness and force. It says, that by which the eyes see, the ears hear, the mind thinks, the life forces act, know that to be Brahman and not the one which is worshipped outside as a deity. There are few slokas in which it says that one is not able to realize Brahman by the ears, by the eyes, etc., etc. But that by which the eyes see, eyes cannot see, ears cannot hear it, pranas cannot feel it, mind cannot think about it. But that by which the eyes see, that is, that which animates and enlivens the eyes to see, that which enlivens and animates the ears to hear, the mind to think, the life forces to act, know that to be Brahman, and it is not the one which is worshipped outside as a deity to be thought as Brahman. The deities whom we worship outside, that is not Brahman. It is that entity which enlivens and animates the eyes to see, ears to hear, the mind to think, and the pranas to give us the life. That is Brahman. Yena chakshumshi pashyati, yena shrotramidam shrutam, yenahur manomatam, yena prana praniyate. I have taken from different consecutive shlokas, these portions. It is Kenopanishad, 1.1 chapter, 6 to 9, verses number 6 to 9. Yena chakshumshi pashyati, yena shrotramidam shrutam, yenahur manomatam, yena prana praniyate. That is, by which the eyes see, the ears hear, the mind thinks, and the life forces act. Tad eva Brahma. That is Brahma. Tadeva Brahma tvam vidhi. O you seeker, know that that is Brahman. Nedam yadidam upasate. Naidam yadidam upasate. It's not the one that you are worshipping outside, making it as a deity. That is not Brahman. One which is making you talk, that is chanting the stotras, making you hear the sound when you are chanting, making you see the deity, making your limbs act in worship, that. So, Swamiji says that when he was reading all these things, my dear children, for any sincere seeker, when we read something, we should feel that how to become like that. Otherwise, it is just reading a story. We read stories, fairy tales when we are young. We read the fairy tales. We read about kings and queens and their adventures. We read the stories of somebody else. When we read the Shastras, the Upanishads, it is the story of our own self, our own Antaratma, whom we are forgetting, we have forgotten. That I am that, we have forgotten. We are hearing the story of our own Antaratma, our own self. So when we read the scriptures, we should feel, oh, when I will be one with that. Say this shloka, yena chakshumsi pashyati, should bring about this thought that yes, throughout the day when I am wakeful, I am seeing so many things. Do I ever think what makes my eyes see? Why do I see? What makes me hear? What makes my blood flow? Makes my mind think, how is the prana going on? Who makes it? How does it happen? These thoughts never come to us. We are only thinking of the superficials, unessentials. What is apparent on the surface. We are not going deep into it, thinking that how is everything going on in a cycle. Guru Diksha and sadhana alone can lead one to fruition. Guru Diksha, many will have. People feel that we must have Guru Diksha and we become purified. We are very, very blessed to have a Guru. Yes, the Guru blesses. But after that, the sadhana is the Shishyas. There many fail. They become complacent, thinking, I am such a such person's Guru, so I am great. My Guru is so knowledgeable. He knows all the scriptures, he is known everywhere. So many people come to him. And I am his Shishya. One's own sadhana has to be done. And that alone makes the Guru happy and pleased. Not only that, by sadhana alone one will have fruition of spiritual pursuit. The scene of Baba seated in his room, singing, standing on his head, absorbed in his inmost recess, came to my mind again and again. Renunciation, to leave home, that call was so strong to Swamiji those days. He was only wanting to give himself fully to this pursuit. Go away from everything, leave the job, leave all relations, simply go and start walking on the road, relying on the providence. Knowing that it is the hand of providence alone which is making the life sustain itself, which is doing everything in this world, wholesomely taking refuge in that one presence everywhere. So his mind was looking for it. He says that Guru Diksha and sadhana alone can lead one to fruition. The scene of Baba seated in his room singing, standing on his head, absorbed in his inmost recess, came to my mind again and again. And Swamiji would think of Baba because he has gone only to one saint, and that is Baba. He has not gone anywhere. About this, Swamiji has written in so many places, told in so many words, that ever since he came to his Guru Baba and came to know him and later got Diksha, he has never looked for anything else. Nobody else, no other place, no other sadhana. He knew only his Guru Diksha, and he stuck to it. He took it as a treasure and held on to it, nothing else. So he was remembering about Baba, what in Baba, how Baba was absorbed in himself, day in and day out. Sometimes Baba was singing, sometimes Baba was on his head, Srishtasana, still singing, sometimes only absorbed into his innermost self. Those scenes would come to Swamiji's mind. That is, having so much of fondness for that state, Swamiji wanted to leave everything. He wanted to be always embraced by his own self. No greater illustration was necessary from Baba. The fruition trickled into me. There was no more doubt nor curiosity anymore. So Swamiji had no more curiosity, no more doubt that he had to leave. Mandukya Upanishad in its 8th mantra lays down clearly supreme and comprehensive nature of the consciousness, ekatma pratyaya saram. In Mandukya Upanishad, in the 8th mantra, it says, ekatma pratyaya saram. I think I have not the sloka, otherwise I would have told you. It talks about, and it says that it is Shivam Advaitam, and it is the only thing which has to be pursued, this self. Sa Atma sa Vijñeyaha. It describes the Atma. Jo Atma cannot be described. But it says in that this comes Ekatma Pratyaya Saram. Ekatma Pratyaya. It is the only Atma, and that realization comes. One has to realize this. Sa Atma sa Vijñeyaha. Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyante Sa Atma sa Vijñeyaha. Shantam Shivam Advaitam. This is the definition. It is Shanta, Shivam, auspiciousness, and Advaitam. It is non-dual. Chaturtham Manyate. Na Atma sa Vijñeyaha. It is beyond the 3 states, and that is the Atma. That has to be known. Sa Atma sa Vijñeyaha. It has to be known. Consciousness is neither external nor internal. It is wholesome, secondless, and unmistakable in its expression. Comprehend consciousness, helped by mind and intelligence, but transcending both in the process. Swamiji is explaining the consciousness now. Consciousness is neither external nor internal. It is everywhere. It is neither outside nor inside. It is everywhere. Everywhere it is there. Everywhere means there is no separateness. We cannot say that this is external and this is internal. It is wholesome, secondless, and unmistakable in its expression. And there is no doubt or mistake in its expression. It is everywhere there. It is animating. Comprehend consciousness held by the mind and intelligence, but transcending both in the process. By mind, how do we come to the conclusion? By using our mind and intelligence. We must do vichara. What is this? What is this? Is this the truth? Is this the truth? What is not the truth? Constantly discriminate. And for that, what do we have to use? We have to use our mind and intelligence. Ultimately, it is the same consciousness where mind and intelligence also disappear, get dissolved. There is no mind, there is no intelligence. That differentiation also is not there. There is only one. Ekatma pratyasaram. Be sure that it endures. For that, drop all desires. These are the important sentences, my dear children. When we read, be sure that it endures. We can take to sadhana, but we do not have endurance. After some time, the sadhana becomes mechanical. Yes, we give some time for meditation, but very soon we get up thinking that the mind is only going to other things. Very frequently we drop our meditation, drop our sadhana also. That endurance is not there. That is, no. When my Guru has given me this sadhana, good, bad, I must meditate. I must sit. If he has asked me to read the Bhagavad Gita every day, 3 slokas, I will every day read and try to understand, do vichara on that. That endurance is not there. Mostly not there. So, be sure that it endures. For that, drop all desires. Drop all desires. That endurance will come when we drop desires. That, oh, if I do this, I'll gain this. If I do this, I'll be happy. If I do this spiritual practice also, I'll get some punya. All kinds of desire, material as well as spiritual, everything has to be dropped off. Outlive possessiveness. Outlive possessiveness, any kind of possessiveness, any kind of feeling that I am pursuing this path, I am a great favorite of my Guru, or I have done so much of austerity, I know so many slokas, I have read so many shastras, all these are possessiveness and ego. Drop all that. Be a zero. That is why Swamiji very often says, I have nothing, I am nothing, I want nothing. Be a complete zero. We hold on to, we feel that we have left. Many people, they really dedicate themselves, commit themselves. They have that great yearning to go forward in the spiritual path, but hold on to their asceticism, austerity, their viewpoints, and what they like or dislike in the path. One has to become a zero. One has to accept good as well as bad. One has to accept likes as well as dislikes. The picture that we have for our spiritual pursuit, that is drawn by us, do not hold on to that even. Drop that even. No possessiveness. Outlive possessiveness. Shed all curiosity and wonder. even the spiritual ones shed all curiosity and wonder. Even the spiritual ones, even the spiritual desires, curiosity, everything has to be dropped. There is that shloka. I think Swamiji, myself, Swamiji, all must have said it many times. Bandho hi vasana bandho, moksha syat vasana kshayah, vasanam tvam parityajya, moksharthitvam apityaja. Bandho hi vasana bandho. Now whatever Swamiji is saying, all this is the bondage that a seeker has. All have to be left. Bandho hi vasana bandho. If you have any vasana, any desire, any possessiveness, it binds you, constricts you. It does not allow you to become free, liberated, expansive. Bandho hi vasana bandho. Moksha syat vasana kshayah. When vasana or the desires, those are dissolved. That is moksha. When there is no vasana, no desire, that is called moksha or liberation. Because vasana or desire, it constricts us, binds us. When that is not there, you become free. Vasanam tvam parityajya. Knowing that vasana has to be dissolved, vasana has to be removed. Do that. Vasanam tvam parityajya. So you renounce your vasanas, reject your vasanas, remove your vasanas. And after that, what vasana ultimately you have to leave? Moksharthitvam apityaja. We remove all other vasanas, all other desires. We don't want anything from the world. We only want liberation. Ultimately, that vasana of liberation has to be left. Has to be left. When all other desires are left, remains only one desire, but that is also a desire. What is that desire? To become liberated. When will I become liberated? When will I be realized? That constricts the mind. Leave that also. You become samarasam. Liberation and bondage become the same. Samarasam. Samarasam. So, this is what Swamiji is saying, and all these he has learned from Baba. Shed all curiosity and wonder, even the spiritual ones. This sloka, which I just now referred to, is from Yoga Vasishtha. You are already full with what you seek. Any insufficiency means your fall from the comprehension. So, shed all curiosity and wonder, even the spiritual ones. You are already full with what you seek. Your seeking should be full. It should completely envelop you, cover you, fill you. There cannot be even a spot of desire, a spot of anything else except the seeking. Any insufficiency means your fall from the comprehension. That is, if you keep anything as a small dot even, that is your being away from the comprehensive idea. Praise none. Pray to none. Be seated in your own self. Praise none and pray to none. You are the full. You are your own self. And that is the fullness. That is the fullness. And be full always. The soul or the self is full. Poornamada Poornamidam Poornat Poornamudachyate Poornasya Poornamadaya Purnamevāvaṣiṣṭhāte. Everywhere it is fullness alone, then only it becomes full. If in the full there cannot be a pit, there cannot be a place where it is not full, then you cannot say that it is full. And that from that fullness, even if you take something, it remains as full because it is infinite. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevāvaṣiṣṭhāte. Praise none, pray to none, be seated in your own self. Be seated in your own self. Whom shall I praise? Whom should I pray to? I am the one. I am that one. What says? Say in Vivekacudamani, it says, Sarvādhāram sarvavastu prakāṣam sarvākāram sarvagam sarvashunyam nityam shuddham nischalam nirvikalpam brahmadvaitam yat tadevahamasmi. I am that Brahman, and I am like this. I am verily that Brahman, the one without a second, which is the support of all, which illuminates all things, which has infinite forms, is omnipresent, devoid of multiplicity, eternal, pure, unmoved, and absolute. I am that. I am that. It says like this. And that is why I need not pray to anybody. I need not praise anybody, because everywhere am I. Only when there is two, we pray to. Only there is when two, either we praise or we criticize. Now I am the one, full everywhere, as the Brahman. So, the challenge to this fullness comes from your own mind and intelligence. Now, this is where we should reach. This should be the attitude, or this is the one, this becomes the state of somebody who has realized. The challenge to this fullness comes from your own mind and intelligence. Insatiable mind is the shortcoming. Mind is such that it simply is restless, never satisfied, never contented. So, arguing intelligence is the hindrance. Mind is never satisfied, and the intelligence always brings about doubts. It argues. Make your knowledge doubt-free and absolute. Make your knowledge doubt-free and absolute. How will you do it? Using the mind and intelligence. Constant vichara, constant vichara. That is why in Yoga Vasishtha it is said, Vichara tikshnata metya dhi pashyati parampadam dirgha samsara rogasya vicharo hi mahaushadham. That vichara should be very, very sharp and subtle. Then the dhi is able to realize the self. And in this dirgha samsara roga, the worldliness that we are drowned in, for that, vichara is mahaushadham, the greatest medicine, from Yoga Vasishtha. If there is any difficulty, look to none and nowhere except your sadhana. So, Swamiji has written this. These advices were given to Swamiji by Baba. And at the end, Baba is telling, if there is any difficulty, what did he say? Praise none, pray to none, be seated in your own self. Be full always. The challenge to this fullness comes from your own mind and intelligence. Insatiable mind is the shortcoming. Arguing intelligence is the hindrance. Make your knowledge doubt-free and absolute. If there is difficulty, look to none and nowhere except your sadhana. Sadhana should burn all defects and imperfections. If there is any difficulty, that is, the mind is full of discontent, not restful, and the intelligence is bringing doubts after doubt. Take to sadhana. Don't run here and there. Don't go and give puja to some temple or wear a stone to make your mind shanta, peaceful. That is what many people do. Even though people have diksha and a guru, they will run to wear a stone or run to go to different temples to pray there, to give puja, to get blessings, so that even this spiritual fulfillment is had. Spiritual fulfillment will be had only by one's own sadhana and Guru's grace. And how will the Guru's grace will be there? Guru's grace is always there. One has to be open to take that grace and not close the door by taking help of other things. Very soon, sadhana should burn all defects and imperfections. When we do sadhana well, we reach to that Vishuddha Sattva state and we become contented. What does it say? Vishuddha Sattvasya Gunaha Prasadaha Swatmanubhutihi Parama Prashantihi Truptihi Praharshaha Paramatmanishta Yaya Sadanandarasam Samrichyati. Vishuddha Sattvasya, when we take to sadhana, we get purified, and the whole being becomes Vishuddha Sattva. Sattva Guna, that too the pinnacle of Sattva Guna. Gunaha, when we reach that kind of purity, what is the result or consequence? Prasadaha, placidity of the mind. Mind becomes calm. The mind, which was constantly having dissatisfaction, constantly having restlessness, becomes calm and tranquil. No waves, no ripples. Swatmanubhuti. And that mind, the self reveals itself. So you have the anubhuti, the experience of the self. You understand you are the self. And you are that. It's not that you are watching yourself. You are that self. Self-effulgent, self-luminous. Swatmanubhutihi parama prashantihi. And that brings about parama prashantihi, supreme prashanti, supreme peacefulness, supreme peacefulness. Triptihi, contentment, praharshaha, exhilaration, paramatmanishta, triptihi, praharshaha, paramatmanishta. My dear children, these words, this is from Vivekachudamani. I think the sloka number is 119. You should read these slokas, chant them, chant these qualities. And be like that. It says, Truptihi Praharshaha Paramatmanishta. What is this Paramatmanishta? Once you have experienced that you are the self, your life goes on in abidance with the self. It cannot be otherwise. It gets expressed in everything. In your speech, in your thought, in your actions. yaya sadanandarasam samrichyati, and because of which always there is sada anandarasa. Sada means always, unbrokenly, ceaselessly, one will be experiencing, drinking the anandarasa, which spontaneously comes out of one's own self. Satchidananda, that is the self. So, this is what, when one takes to sadhana sincerely, wholesomely. Maybe one is not in an ashram. Maybe one has to look after the family, many people, many duties are there. Many liabilities are there. But the mind is crying to get one with oneself, be embraced by one's own self. Then all the opportunities become a blessing. All situations become a blessing. This very yearning makes him pure and purer, burns away all defects, and one reaches that Vishuddha Sattva state. And this becomes the life of a knower or realized person. Yaya sadanandarasam samrichyati. Sadanandarasam samrichyati. So, this is what Baba had told Swamiji, and Swamiji has narrated them here. He must have imbibed these, written this in golden words in his mind, and walked forward. Very soon, Baba gave sannyasa, the name he chose for me as Bhumananda. Baba explained that our parampara lineage was Tirtha, and hence the Tirtha surname would be added in the end. Tirtha parampara is one of the Dashanamis, the 10 orders of sannyasa, instituted by the great Shankaracharya over 1200 years ago. I think I will do the rest of it in the next session. Jai Guru. Sampurnam jagadevanandanavanam sarvepi kalpadrumaah gangam vari samastavari nibaha punyas samasta kriyah vacha prakrita samskrita shruti shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.